The year is 480 BC. Not with Spartan defiance, but with Persian triumph, the dust of Thermopylae settles. King Xerxes, not Leonidas, stands victorious. Imagine it, the sun, not rising over a free Aegean, but glinting off the polished bronze of 10,000 Persian immortals, their banners snapping over a conquered land. Greece falls. This isn't just a battle lost. This is the end of a nascent dream. Marathon, Plataea, Salamis all become footnotes in a grand imperial tapestry. The seemingly invincible Persian war machine, fueled by an empire stretching from India to Egypt, finally crushes the audacious Greek city-states. And with that conquest, the very cradle of what we call Western civilization is irrevocably transformed. Picture Athens, not as the shining beacon of democracy, but as a provincial capital, a satrapy under the great king. The democratic experiment, barely a whisper, is snuffed out before it can even truly speak. No citizen assemblies, no free speech debating the fate of the polis. Instead, a satrap rules, his word echoing the decrees from Persepolis. Local customs might persist, yes, for the Persians were often tolerant administrators, but the spirit of independent thought, of self-governance, would it wither and die under the shadow of absolute monarchy? And what of philosophy? Without the freedom of inquiry, the relentless questioning that birthed Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, would it even exist in the form we know? Socrates might still question, but would he face hemlock for impiety, or would his discourse be tailored to imperial doctrine? Would Plato's ideal republic ever be conceived, or would his genius be harnessed to articulate the divine right of kings, infusing Persian concepts of a divinely appointed ruler with Greek intellectual rigor? Philosophy, if it survived, would be less about the individual's pursuit of truth, and more about the universal order of empire, perhaps infused with Zoroastrian dualism, where cosmic struggle dictates the human condition. Consider art and architecture. There would be no Parthenon, no soaring tributes to Athena's wisdom through human perfection. Instead, colossal reliefs depicting the great king's power, perhaps a synthesis of Hellenic form and Achaemenid grandeur. Think Persepolis, but in Athens. The human form, idealized and free, replaced by symbols of submission and imperial might, emphasizing the collective over the individual, the vastness of empire over the intimacy of the polis. The vibrant colors of Greek pottery might give way to the intricate goldwork and glazed bricks favored by Persian artisans. And science. Greek curiosity, that relentless drive to understand the world through reason, might still exist. But would it be funded for pure inquiry, or directed towards engineering marvels for the empire, aqueducts, siege engines, grand palaces? Practicality over abstract thought. The Library of Alexandria might still emerge centuries later, a vast repository of knowledge, but its focus, its very collection, would be profoundly different, shaped by Persian imperial priorities, by the philosophies allowed to flourish under the great king's benevolent or not so benevolent gaze. But here's the twist. The Persian Empire, for all its might, would eventually fall. Yet, the seeds sown in a conquered Greece would have blossomed into something entirely new. What would Rome, rising centuries later, have encountered? Not the intellectual bedrock of a free Greece, but a Greco-Persian blend. Its law, its rhetoric, its architecture all profoundly shaped by Greek ideals. Without them, would Roman republicanism ever take root? Or would it be a state built on the Persian model of centralized power, an absolute emperor from its very inception? The very concept of individual rights, the foundations of modern democracy, the Enlightenment, they are echoes of Athens. Without Athens, what echoes would we hear today? The impact ripples through millennia. The development of Christianity, its theological framework often intersecting with Greek philosophy, would have been fundamentally altered. The Renaissance, a rebirth of classical ideals, would have been a rebirth of something entirely different, something less familiar, more alien to our modern sensibilities. Our language, our political systems, our understanding of freedom itself all would be profoundly, unsettlingly foreign. The world we know, a ghost. A whisper of what might have been. A testament to the fragility of freedom, and the monumental impact of a single, pivotal moment in history. What other moments, you wonder, shaped our world in ways we barely comprehend? Let me know your thoughts below, and if you want to keep exploring these impossible what ifs, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, Keep questioning.